So we just got our new announcement for today before I get into this character. And they announced that the pre-order bonuses are live now for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. It's only for retail. And I wanted to react to this just to talk a little bit more about the game. And one particular character that we now know that's already going to be in the roster, I thought I'd make my own moveset for him and part of this character request. And the one thing I want to say real quick is for this series is about the character and how I think they can play, requested by you guys for the characters that y'all want to see make it into the game. It's not about them being revealed, it's not about them being announced and whether or not they got announced. It's a character request series that I came up with, and I have many movesets that I made already for several characters that are probably, some of them are already newcomers, part of the game anyway. So that's what this series is about. So I wanted to reiterate that so people don't get it confused. It's not about the character being announced or they got revealed. There's no reveal for them. It's about how the character plays and how the character I think can play from the moveset, from my own ideas, references from the show, both new and old. So whether or not I know too much about the character or seen the show, I still put the ideas together so people can see and check out the moveset. Don't have to watch the full video. The full moveset and all the ideas for this character, for Gerald, we're going to talk about in a little bit, is going to be in the description. It's similar to how I did with the other characters, Otis, and Squidward, Plankton, and other villains like that can get into the game, like Professor Calaminus that I did before, and many others, and so on and so forth, Zuko. And it just goes on for this series, just to talk about these characters and the characters that you guys want to see for this request series for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2, now that we know the game's coming out soon. Now, they said retail pre-orders are now live, and you can pre-order now to get an exclusive pre-order bonus costume for Patrick. His elastic waistband costume just got posted in this tweet, so you guys can check it out and pre-order now in the retail stores if you want to. But for me, I'm going for the Ultimate Edition. And one thing I wanted to share so people are aware, because some people probably don't know, the Ultimate Edition is not going to be available for pre-order until later this fall. Not sure when that's going to be, because the Ultimate Edition basically contains everything. And when you go to the website, you can check this out. For the Ultimate Edition, it's a digital only edition. You can't get it at GameStop or your local game store or anything like that. You have to get it on the PlayStation Store, the Nintendo eShop, or Steam, or your Xbox Store, things like that. You only can get it digital only. So this includes the deluxe edition plus one exclusive bonus costume for each character. And it said pre-orders available later this fall. So just to throw out a guess, I think it's probably not going to pop up until sometime in September, considering that the fact that it's an October release. I hope they don't wait all the way until the last minute. Hopefully they don't do that for the Ultimate Edition. I'm not sure which one you guys are going to go for. Some people are getting the standard, maybe the deluxe, or probably just going to shoot for the Ultimate Edition. I think the Ultimate Edition is worth it. And then when you go into the website and click on the deluxe edition, it's a digital edition that includes the base edition plus the season pass. So you don't have to pay the extra $24.99 for the season pass. So if you get the standard edition, you got to pay that extra $24.99 for that season pass, for the DLC, for all those other additional new characters that's going to be added into the roster. So I would say the deluxe and the Ultimate Edition seems to be worth it, so you don't have to get the season pass extra to drop the extra $25, because the deluxe edition it comes with the season pass. So, and the same thing with this, it says the same thing, pre-orders available later this fall, but you can get the retail edition starting today. Target, Best Buy, Amazon, and GameStop, however you choose to get it and pre-order it. But I'm gonna wait and just get my hands on the Ultimate Edition and just be able to play it that way. Let me know what you guys think and which edition you guys are gonna get. But I wanted to talk about that first and just react to that, because I guess that's gonna be the post for today. because I'm not sure when we're probably going to get any sort of showcases. We're supposed to be getting them soon, but I have no idea when. Hopefully they start with the new characters. We're going to have to see and find out. But let's start talking about Gerald. We're going to keep the spotlight. We're going to keep it right on here. She's the only Hey Arnold rep. Do you guys think Arnold has a chance to get into the roster? I wonder if he's probably going to end up getting left behind. Who knows? But Gerald, I'm glad he's in the game. We deserve more Hey Arnold reps. I'm happy that they got him at it and that Gertie's in it. Can't wait to see how these characters play. But this is just my ideas that I put together for how I think he's probably going to play as part of this request. But if you don't know who he is and you haven't seen Hey Arnold, I love starting with the backstory for these characters so people can get to know the character itself and what role do they play in the show and what kind of character they are, and just a little bit about me, about the character, just history for it, for a little backstory for him. But he's Arnold's best friend, and he's really close to Helga's best friend, Phoebe. So it's crazy how it comes full circle like that. But he's one of the coolest characters. He's one of my favorite characters in the show. He comes across as a cool character. He's friendly, and he's a very loyal friend to Arnold. And he looks out for him, and they get into all types of different things and adventures as you watch the show in these episodes. And they're usually together. And he even appears in the first episode. So you'll be able to see what he's about. And as you watch the show, he just gives you that good vibe and just a good friend to have that you want to be around for this kind of a friendship circle. And he's a major part of Arnold's circle and a part of these episodes when you go and watch this show. And as you continue to watch, he eventually becomes class president. So Gerald ends up winning that sort of title. But I forgot the name of the episode when he does, because I think he beats Rhonda, if I'm not mistaken. But that's just a little bit of a short and sweet backstory about him. And it's all about Arnold, but Gerald plays a major role, just being by Arnold's side and just looking out for him, just hanging out with him. But let's start getting into the stages. We're going to start talking about some of the stages I came up with. Just 2 different stages that I can see fitting for Gerald. Quigley Stadium, the baseball park that's in the show. And I also selected the Hillwood Aquarium. This actual stage is part of Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3. It's a playable track. And the crazy thing is, you can actually face Gerald as a boss in that game and play against him or race against him as a boss in Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, this same aquarium. So I think they can, if it got into that game, it can definitely most likely be one of those stages that's in Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2. But those are all the only stages that I came up for him for this character. So when he comes out into the game for the roster, I think one of these 2 stages could be it. And one of the stages I want to throw out that I want to see make a return, since it is a Hey Arnold stage, of course, it's Helga's stage in the game, Traffic Jam. With that jazz, I almost want to play the song from the jukebox. It's one of my favorite stages, and one of the stages I want to see return into the sequel this fall. But I didn't list it in my little notes of my ideas. I think it's going to be a returning stage that's going to be ideal for Helga. Hopefully she still gets to stay in the game as well and she doesn't get cut. But those are the stages. Now it's time for the costumes. I had a lot of fun just looking up the different costumes and watching the clips all over again. And this one particular costume to start with, his strawberry school play costume, this was from the very first episode of Hey Arnold that you guys can be able to see. It's called Downtown as Fruits episode, where Arnold and Gerald were part of this stage play that Helga was in charge of, and you'll be able to see him dressed up in his strawberry costume, and Arnold's dressed as banana, and they're cast as different fruit groups for the stage play. So you'll be able to check that out and see this in the very first episode for the school play. Some other unique costumes that I completely forgot about. Some of this one was really new to me. The Save Their Neighborhood when Super Spy costume I came up with that I found out. It was from the Hey Arnold movie from 2002, where Arnold and Gerald were given special gadgets to save the neighborhood from a character named Bridget, an equipment specialist. Like for grapple hook, walkie-talkies to communicate with each other. It almost made me think of the movie Men in Black, almost. It really gave me that kind of vibe just watching this scene from the Hey Arnold, the Hey Arnold movie from 2002. So you'll be able to see this outfit where he's in this black suit and he's rocking purple sunglasses, looking all cool. So it made me think of that movie in a way. So I hope one of these costumes could be probably Gerald's alternate costumes when the game comes out. When we unlock him, if he's unlocked right off the bat. The next costume, I came up and selected the 6th grade fancy dance attire, where in the 6th grade girls episode, they were invited to the school dance. So I think this will be another ideal costume that the developers can probably pull from that episode. And not only just with his fancy purple shirt, his medallion and blue dress pants and purple dance shoes, he had a brand new completely different hairstyle that looked really awesome. So not only just being able to change his costume manually from the play menu, see how we just press R1, we'll be able to customize his hairstyle. So you mix up his clothes, we could probably change up his hairstyle a little bit, and they can go for this particular style from the episode. And then some additional ones. When they were playing hooky, it's from the hooky episode where they were skipping class and cutting class. They were wearing hooky disguises and fake beards. So Gerald was rocking a yellow overcoat, a yellow hat, dark sunglasses, and a false beard. And this is where they disguise themselves as grown-ups, by choosing hats, sunglasses, overcoats, and false beards, so they can avoid getting caught from others from skipping class, because they already got spotted in the baseball field stadium, and they got caught on the camera. So they end up running and disguising themselves so they wouldn't get caught by anyone else, to stay hidden. And then an easier, more of a simple outfit I can think of from Hey Arnold, the Jungle movie, he had a red hoodie with the number 33 on it. So instead of the red t-shirt that he wears in the show, in the Jungle movie, he has a red hoodie or a sweatshirt that he can rock, that I think the developers might end up getting. He'll probably have that more likely, and then maybe one of the outfits that I mentioned, since these characters are probably going to have 2 costumes, maybe 2 to 3 costumes, possibly, I'm not sure. So that's from the Hooky episode. And then just what I mentioned from the red hoodie, the red hoodie outfit, that's going to be from the Hey Arnold Jungle movie. Those are all the costumes that I came up with, and then just from where you can see him wearing certain things from these. It could have been some more that I wanted to put in, but I think this is more than enough costumes for him, for the developers could probably end up choosing. I feel like one of these costumes are probably going to be it for Gerald when the sequel launches. Probably 1 or 2 of these could be in it, unless they go for something else. Hopefully he has a different hairstyle too. That'll be really unique to see, instead of wearing his little tall hair. So now it's time for the taunts and animations, and some of the quotes that I came up with for him for some of his catchphrases. Some of them I pulled from Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3 that I remember him saying. Like, the sun goes down, stay above ground. When the sun goes down, stay above ground. So the journey is the destination, man. And then this other one I hope this is in the game for his voice lines. Come on, Lucky Rabbit's come on. It was during the Friday the 13th episode when they're forced to buy the Wolf Gang to do all the different things that creates and cause bad luck for Friday the 13th. From the Wolf Gang, it was Arnold and Gerald taking on that challenge, breaking mirrors and things like that. So I think I can definitely see him saying that. Come on, Lucky Rabbit's foot, come on. And he could pull out a Lucky's Rabbit's foot as a little bit of a taunt. It'll be really cool to see that. Just a little bit of luck on the battlefield. See what I'm saying? If that Lucky's Rabbit's foot, it'll grant him good luck on the battlefield. Increase his chances of getting a win. Not that all matter, but it's just something that the developers could probably end up probably using. Maybe they might. It could be one of his taunts, or maybe something that he says in the game. And then just something just goofy and silly. So I gotta have this. He said this in the kart racing game. I gotta have something to eat. Anything, anything. And he's starving and shaking. It's just a goofy little taunt, but it was one of his voice lines in the game from kart racers. And then the iconic taunt, he can do his little fancy dance when he was invited to the school dance from the 6th grade episode for that dance night, little fancy dance, and during the school dance, he can do something like that. That'll be a nice little taunt I can see him doing. But those are all I really came up with as far as ideas and some references from the shows, from the different episodes and things like that. I can definitely see him being one to dance for his little taunt, something like that. And I came up with an idea with that, but I'm going to get into that when I get into the movesets right now. So here's the moveset that I came up with. Hope you guys enjoy this. But I really see him having some kind of sports-based moveset with just some kind of offense with sports-related moves to damage the opponent and inflict some chaos on the battlefield. So the first one I came up with, a touchdown, we call it touchdown, where Gerald lunges forward with a football in his hands and slams it down. And I got this from the Mud episode where Arnold tossed the football and he made the game-winning touchdown, or just the game-winning point against the 5th graders, the Wolf Gang, the bullies and things like that from the show. He caught it and made it to the touchdown. He slammed, he crashed right into the mud. It'll be something that I can visually see being a move of his, maybe like a rushing attack, something like that. But with him lunging forward with the football in his hands, with both his hands, and he slams it right down, that's a little running attack for him. And then the next move, go long, where Gerald can throw a football across the field horizontally, and he can also throw it in the air in a certain arc. Now, when I thought about this move, I was thinking about Lincoln Loud and Hugh Neutron, because Lincoln has 2 moves that has something to do with his scooter, because his scooter was a dash move, so I did it something similar with the football with his touchdown attack. And then when he's in the air with Lincoln Loud, he strikes the enemy with his little air strong with the scooter. So they gave him 2 different moves, 2 variations of his scooter, when he dashes into you and then he strikes you in the air with a strong attack. And then I also mixed it in thinking about how Hugh Neutron throws the ducks. He doesn't throw the ducks only across the screen. He can throw it directly into the air and diagonally, so that way Gerald can have some kind of similar mechanic with his throwing of the football, but I made it a little bit better. And I'm going to get into that in a few seconds. See how he can throw it. He throws the ducks in those 3 different directions. Gerald can do the same thing for the football, and then on top of that, as a bonus, I gave him a bullet throw. So Gerald can also charge up the football. So when you're playing as Gerald, you can mainly do this when you're standing still, because you can't charge it up when you're just moving. So while you're neutral with the bullet throw, Gerald can also charge up the football to be thrown faster directly at the enemy with increased force. So it'll be a lot better than Hugh Neutron's ducks that he throws across the screen. He'll be able to charge it up, and then he can just deck you right in the face with his bullet throw. It's gonna be so fast you won't see it coming. And since he's charged it up, it's gonna be even more deadlier. It's gonna be even more lethal, and it's gonna launch you way further than just a regular throw. It's going to be a much bigger knockback influence because he charged it up. So I think that'll be nice to really see some kind of bullet throw. So it's just like an enhanced move of his projectile attack that I basically gave him with the football. So his next move is put alley-oop, where Gerald can strike the enemy with a combo of punches, and then he can finish you with a slam dunk with the basketball, I think that'll be really cool to see. I can see that being one of his moves, so that's why I just came up with that one. So he hit you with a slam dunk to finish for a three hit combo. And then there's just something different I wanted to give him. He's the tall hair boy that Helga always keeps calling him that every time in the episode. Tall hair boy. So I thought, why not use his hair as some kind of offensive attack? So I call this hair check. Gerald's tall hair isn't just for show. He can use it as an attack to knock the enemy back. Little whiplash with his hair. It'll be really cool to see that. You know, he's so tall. You're just like, you gotta, why not use his hair as a little bit of a move for his ultimate attack? That'd be something cool I would like. And then, just to almost wrap up here, I was trying to come up with a recovery move because I know he can't fly. He's not Danny Phantom. You know, he's not an Avatar or anything like that, Genie and so on and so forth, to save him. So I wanted to use the bike he won the contest, or the bike-a-thon with, and I end up calling it this move. He goes on a bike-a-thon for his recovery move, so Gerald can speed through the competition because he won this competition. And he was one of his fears too. In Gerald's secret episode, you can watch him, you know, just make a comeback and just come back from behind and just end up winning this competition. And he sends Harold all the way into the baby store. But he ended up getting a flat tire from his bike anyway. But Gerald ended up taking advantage of this by making it to the finish line because Harold crashed and burned. So Gerald can speed through the competition on a bike, and they can use that same bike from this episode, and can charge into all opponents while making his way back onto the stage. So he's going to be riding this bike horizontally. So I think, and I don't know if they can do this or not, but maybe you can get maybe they can do like a button prompt so you could pedal faster. So the faster you pedal, he's going to get there quicker, and then his charge is going to be faster. But I didn't put that in there, but just thinking about it, it could be some kind of button prompt so you can use the bike and then you can hit a certain button. So as you use his recovery, try to mash the button a little bit. Maybe that's too much. Press a certain button repeatedly to try to paddle faster, and then his charge is going to be greater in speed and it'll do increased damage. They could do something like that. But his bike is going to be something that I can think of using as a recovery move for him, because he was speeding. He was just jetting during the competition. When you go and watch the bike race or the bike-a-thon, he was just going crazy, and he just blazed past through everybody. So I think this would be more of an ideal recovery. I couldn't think of any sort of other way that he could recover. Didn't want to give him some kind of, maybe some kind of a like a jumping slam dunk across the map where he jumps super far and leaps far and he can slam dunk on the enemy. That could be something for a recovery move. I'm curious to see what they do with him, or what they did with him, I should say. But I thought this bike would be more of an ideal. And then just to wrap up, I gave him an ultimate attack. So every character that I'm creating for this moveset, for a character request for you guys, I'm giving the characters ultimate attacks now that we know that this game has supers. So it's ultimate attack and super. I call it a dance party. But I put dance party for everyone. So it almost made me think of, I wanted to reference Luigi, because you see how he's doing those different poses and it freezes and stuns everybody. It makes me think of Luigi and Princess Peach in a way, because they stun you and it has a full screen effect. So I wanted to do something similar with that, with his dance party, where Gerald is feeling like the coolest in the world. He becomes invisible, striking a cool pose, and he begins dancing, stunning everybody on the battlefield, and he launches all the opponents away. So I thought that'll be something more fitting for him, because he loves to dance and he's such a cool character, and he loves staying cool, keeping cool, calm and collected. So he's really just, it fits his character and what he likes to do. So I thought this dance party would be something that could be perfect for his ultimate or his super. I want to see what they did, and it makes me even more excited for these newer characters to see what they can do, and not just them, everybody else in this roster. Hopefully everybody else made it into the game. And we don't even know if they decided to keep the 2 turtles or not. But I highly doubt they cut them. I don't think they did. But those are all the ideas that I could come up with as far as Gerald. And I'm curious to see what y'all think. I can't wait to play as him. Try him out in the training. See what his super is. But I wanted to make it ideal for him to make the moves make sense, to fit the character, and so much more, to reference things that they do in the episode and what they're known for, and it fits their personality. But let me know what y'all think about this character, and maybe which edition of the game you guys are going to shoot for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2.